You're listening to Montreal Now on CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, don't know if you happen to hear the finance minister.
Oh, yes, I did.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing I like better than the sound of raw, unreasoning, fearful panic in the afternoon. And I'm so glad that Montreal Now was able to fulfill that for me this afternoon. These guys are scared witless. With all due respect to the show, why do you think he's talking to you? What happened? You and I were talking at this time yesterday. The budget speech was just beginning. And while we're talking about this, I just want to give a tip of the hat to Rob Lurie over at CTV, who did a great job. He was able to answer every single question that you asked him in detail. But one thing he said was, Aaron, my phone's going to explode. Yeah. I'm getting all kinds of emails here, as was I. And the thing is, and I just got through just talking to our mutual producer, Dean, I've been at this for 40 years, my friend. I have never seen a provincial budget bring down more criticism from everybody, Aaron. There wasn't a single, a ray of sunshine in this. They realize they have really slipped in it. And it's only because I would respectfully, ask the question, all of a sudden today, we're talking about the pandemic. All of a sudden today, we're talking about liberal austerity. All of a sudden today, we're talking about economic slowdown. None of these factors are being cited pre-budget. None of these excuses were being raised as a kind of, explanation for what really is a master class in how to alienate as many people or the largest number of people in the smallest amount of time. And when you hear like Francois Legault going on now saying, well, no, it's not a record, because he realizes this is going to be around his neck for the next 2 years. Doesn't matter if he turns around and manages to whittle this down. The fact is, what was announced yesterday was essentially a public admission of failure on all fronts by a government of Quebec, whether it's in healthcare, education, the administration of this province, the guardianship of this province's economic future. It's all out the window. It's a matter of Francois Legault looking good this morning, trying to find a zillion ways to talk his way around the fact that at $11 billion, yes, it is a record. You can say that in terms of GDP as a proportion. No, it's not the highest. But guess what? For most people out there who are doing their own budgets, if I can, use that threadbare analogy of the people sitting around the kitchen table discussing their finances, they don't talk about proportional spending. They talk about bottom line dollars. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. That is exactly the message that was sent out to all of Quebec. So I am not surprised that the Premier of Quebec, his finance minister, and I imagine anybody else who's in a key ministry, have seen their bowels turn to water with the reaction from Quebecers of all stripes to this budget.
So, I was trying to nail down specifics in here. With Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, there was too much of this, federal this, federal that, we're not getting the money we said, or that the CAC said they would. And I'm wondering if you had to highlight something in this budget, and I tried to make the point with the finance minister. So we know the press reported there was $569 million that the government saved during the teacher strike. That's $500 million not spent. Yep. Which you think could have been taken, I guess, and had something else done to it, top up another budget somewhere else. It's simply not. It's just it's there. It's money not spent, and we don't have to account for it anywhere. Yeah,
but you have to remember that it's essential for the Legault government to steer as much money as possible to ethnic identity protection.
Yeah.
Which is their main thing, which is what they do. I mean, we just had an example of how they govern. They don't really govern. They basically divide Quebec based on ethnic lines and identity lines. And believe me, you'll be hearing more about this in the near future as it dawns on Francois Legault and company that, as I say, they've really slipped in at this time. But here's what's interesting. It's March 13th today. It's a very interesting day for me because 4 years ago, I was being wheeled in for my hip surgery, and Quebec was about to be put into lockdown by the Legault government. And it was also the beginning of what you can only describe as a golden age. Francois Legault, 4 years ago this month, would have reached 77% in terms of popularity with the people of Quebec. Talk about something that is completely turned around, and this budget is a grace note to that. I'm telling you right now, I mean, we can talk till we're blue in the face about where'd the money go for this or where'd the money go for that. Keep your eye on the bouncing Legault, my friend. This guy knows he's in trouble. He knows he's stuck for 2 years. And don't be surprised if you see some real big changes coming down the pike in Quebec politics. I'm pretty sure the CAQ caucus is as mortified as everyone else with the fact that they have got to have this budget wrapped around their shoulders for the next 2 years. That's presuming those who want to stick around for re-election. But honestly, don't be surprised as well if in the medium term, you're going to see some questions being asked, not on the opposition benches, but from within the CAQ itself, is whether François Legault is the person to lead them into what would be a very theoretical third term.
Jim, when you bring that up, I always remember people saying, and you've said this before as well, 2 years is a long time in politics. We tend to forget a lot going down the road. But you think they wear this for a long time?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're not talking about, all the times you and I have talked about various topics and we've gotten angry over it because it was focused on one group. It was focused on Muslim women. It was focused on immigrants. It was focused on Anglophones. Here is a document, an easily consultable document that is a slap in the face to every single person in Quebec, okay? And as I say, it was amazing to see the absolute unity of opprobrium that fell upon this budget yesterday. But all that said, this is not going to go away. And even if the opposition trips over its own feet trying to make hay with this, okay, I think you are going to see just a lot of rank-and-file Quebecers turn around who are already seeing, the mask fall from the face of François Legault, who are going to turn around and say, these guys are off my radar. The question now is, where does my vote go to? Does it go to the Liberals? Does it go to the PAC? Does it go to Quebec Solidaire? But I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's overstating the case to say that after, my God help us, what is it, 6 years now, okay, you are probably witnessing the beginning of the end of the CAQ as we have known it thus far. I'm not saying it's going to cease to exist, but the CAQ that you're seeing, the CAQ that is lurching from one crisis to another, that keeps stepping on rakes every other day, that is not going to survive for the next 2 years. You are going to see some changes coming down the road.
All right, I want to get to this part. I had not seen anything about this, so fill us in. You say it looks like Denis Coderre's coronation, as you say, as Quebec Liberal leader is becoming increasingly likely. I thought, Jim, there was an ABC anyone but Coderre movement within the party.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know if they just kind of didn't make the radar yesterday because of all the news. You remember Joel Lightbound, the Liberal MP, who was supposed to be mulling it over? Well, apparently he's going to become a dad in June. So he's going to use the risky defense and says, I have my priorities, my family right now, so I'm off the thing. I know. Listen, I listen to the show, and I hear people say, well, there's this possibility, François Philippe Champagne is the industry minister, or Melanie Joly. Mm-hmm. I think those people have got enough flight time as politicians that they know what a dumpster fire looks like when they see one. And unless they're going to go in with a straight ticket to the premier's office, I don't think anyone's going to step up. So, I may be wrong. But right now, I think the field is going to be very, very narrow when it comes to leadership hopefuls for the Quebec Liberal Party.
It's interesting. I get the impression, I don't know why, we had a chance. I spoke to him, about 2-3 weeks ago, and he's going to do his big walk to Compostela. I have the sense that he is simply not going to end up at the end of all this deciding to run. So
I think you may be 100% right. That's the other thing as well. I mean, he's no fool, and the fact is, he keeps saying, "Well, I got to see if the love is there." Blah blah blah. Well, you know what? If there are not enough people who believe in the brand, if the Quebec Liberal brand has been so tattered and torn over the past few years that nobody wants to step up, and he looks like he's going to be the only guy who's interested. Remember, he'll have to, if he gets acclaimed, he'll have to wear that as well, no matter what happens. I don't think he wants to sign on for that.
I don't think he does. But then again, that's not till June, not that far away, but we'll know then. Jim, thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.